From VTV Channel 6 Studios in downtown Vernal, this is Local Point with your host, Chris Piner.
Welcome to Local Point, sponsored by Ashley Regional Medical Center. I'm Devin Caldwell, in for Chris Piner. Today, Uintah County Commissioner Mike McKee joins us in the studio to give us a year-end review of 2010 and to let us know what's happening for 2011. Hey, thanks for coming in today, Commissioner.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Oh, that's great. So let's get right into it. Tell us a little bit about 2010. What are some of the highlights of the year?
You know, there's a lot that's been going on. Facility-wise, we got into our new safety complex, which, was several years in the completion, and that's great for our community. As a community, we want to feel and be safe. We'll remember a couple years ago, for example, in Daggett County, they had a couple inmates that had escaped.
There, huh?
And we actually had quite a few people in our community that didn't feel like they wanted to go up to Daggett County or go up camping up in that area.
They didn't feel safe during
that time. They didn't
feel
safe, but having this new facility is good for our community, and I'm glad that we're finally able to get that completed. And so that was a major event for us. We also started our new Golden Age Center, and that's coming along very nicely. That's going to be absolutely great for our seniors. That is going to be outstanding. We're excited about the brain gym portion of that. It's going to give seniors an opportunity to exercise our minds and our brains. And sometimes as we get a little older, what was I thinking of?
What was that?
But to be able to exercise our minds and our brains is good and helps with the cognitive process, in particular as we start to get dementia and Alzheimer's and some of those things. It's going to be valuable to us, but I think even without that, just to be able to be sharp and alert and active, it's going to be very valuable for our community.
So I haven't known too much about this. Do you have specific examples of what they do there at the Brain Center? Or?
It's kind of a new concept to Utah. I believe this is the first one in Utah. There may be another one, but in any case, there's not many around. Nationwide, there's a few.
Okay.
And we appreciate the fact that this is going to happen for our community. It's going to be really good, and there's testing. There's places where this has happened, and it's been very effective. So we're way excited.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you talked about the safety complex. It's up and going. Now, what about where the old jail was? What's happening there?
That's a good question, and maybe a few of our people know about this, but. Well, first of all, the safety complex was wore out. That's why we abandoned it, and it will be tore down. But we are going to erect a new library, and it's our anticipation during this coming year that we'll begin on that.
Okay.
And where the old jail was, in that area we'll have a new library. There will be some parking. It won't be exactly where the jail is, but in that area we'll have a new library.
They're near that lot?
Yes, and parking, and our new library is going to be a very exciting thing. We're going to go to the Community Impact Board. We believe that we'll get some pretty good funding there. We also have some funding on hand, and so anyway, exciting things for the community. It'll be great for a community to have this new facility.
Great. So when you talked about the new facility, is it something that you're going to go in and renovate the old safety complex to make it fit the new library, or start from scratch?
No, as I mentioned, that old jail is wore out.
There's no.
In fact, we've already awarded a contract for its total demolition.
Okay.
When that demolition is completed, we get our funding fully in place. Then we'll begin the new library.
Okay.
And so we're excited about that. So it's something that our community can be excited about. Our old library, we'll continue to have the old library, and we'll focus a lot with our regional history center in our old library. And so we'll be able to expand what we do there. And of course, our regional history center is one of the premier history centers in the state. So,
okay.
And we'll just be able to expand on that and make it even better.
Great. So with that, I guess I know this is obviously still in planning stages. Will there be a connection from one to the other, or a walkway?
Two different buildings. So,
okay.
But the services will be tied closely together.
Gotcha. No, that's great. So, are there any other? What's coming up new then in 2010 before we go to the break?
Well,
Excuse me,
I don't know if
2011.
2011. I don't know if we have time before the break to get in that. I'd really like to do that, but there's a lot happening in 2011. But the main focus, I guess, facility-wise, will be the new library.
Okay, great. Well, After the break, we'll talk to Commissioner McKee about the year ahead and what Uintah Basin residents can look forward to seeing. But first, here's a message from the sponsor of Local Point, Ashley Regional Medical Center.
Welcome to Ashley Regional Medical Center. We have just added another amazing new piece of technology to our radiology department. This is the new Infinia Hawkeye 4, the best nuclear medicine technology available, and the same you would find at tertiary hospitals along the Wasatch Front. This machine can help physicians determine both the nature and precise location of the disease by testing gallbladder function, performing cardiac perfusion studies, and diagnosing cancer. Ashley Regional Medical Center, continuing to bring the latest medical technology to northeastern Utah.
Welcome back. Thanks again for joining us in the studio, Commissioner McKee.
Thank you.
It's great to have you. Now, before the break, we were talking a little bit about new opportunities, new facilities in the basin. You mentioned more of the library.
Right. You know, the library, but maybe in a maybe a little different avenue. You know, a lot of people are concerned about the economy, about jobs. There is tremendous opportunity in Uintah County and in the Uintah Basin for a very strong economy if we can have good policy. As commissioners, we very recently have met with different companies. Now, this is under non-disclosure, so I'm not going to be able to mention companies here today. We met with a company here just a couple of weeks ago that said they would like to invest $5 to $10 billion, not million, $5 to $10 billion here in Uintah County. What they are needing is they're needing good federal policy. If we can have policy that allow them to do that, this is one company. I can tell you there are numerous companies that want to put in hundreds of millions and billions of dollars. And most of these are under non-disclosure, but the potential is outstanding. We can have good jobs, we can have high-paying jobs. The opportunity is here, the resources are here. The Uintah Basin is a treasure chest of these natural resources. And the other thing that I appreciate is we have an outstanding economic development director. I will tell you the commissioners that we have an opportunity to work with Mark Raymond and Darlene Burns, outstanding commissioners, appreciate our city officials. I think we have the right political climate. Locally, the area we're struggling with is Washington policy.
So as you work with the local organizations or even on the state level, then it's not difficult to coordinate and work with them. What you're saying is we're worried about the federal side, what's going on in
absolutely.
Washington,
You know,
D.C.
I will tell you, appreciate working with our local BLM. You know, we have cooperating agency status. We have worked hand in hand. We've developed a resource management plan over the last 7 years that's supposed to be the guide as to how we do things on federal lands. After that's all been signed and developed, now we have Washington policy that's turned this thing upside down.
So this is something that you've worked on for 7 years then?
We, the state of Utah, the BLM, and the BLM has spent approximately $35 million over these last 7 years in developing this plan. And it's following federal law. And somehow it appears that this administration isn't caring so much about federal law. It's an agenda that they're wanting to utilize, and they're trying to find ways to get there to do it.
So what are some of the barriers you're seeing you're coming up against?
Well, first of all, you're probably aware that the Secretary of Interior just a couple weeks ago, just a couple days before Christmas, when it, so that wasn't the transparency there should have been, had a major announcement. And it's changing, really undoing the Utah Wilderness Settlement Agreement that we had.
That's right.
Which gave us multiple use that we need on our public lands. Very important for us to be able to have the multiple use for our extractive industry, for our cattle operations, for the different kind of things that we're endeavoring to do.
Now that was something that was put together with one of the previous governors, right?
Yes,
there were lawsuits and
yes,
things.
Yes,
so they were
this was the
Mike
Mike Leavitt, Gil Norton Wilderness Settlement Agreement. We were very involved with it in the time.
Okay.
But yes, that Wilderness Settlement Agreement was put into place because of lawsuits. Well, now they have undone all of that. Now, Uintah County, we have filed a lawsuit that we'd filed here a few months ago on this very issue. The only thing that has happened, in my opinion, is as the Secretary of Interior has made this announcement, I believe it strengthens our lawsuit, and we're going to be very active, and you will be seeing, I hope the public sees, the things that we're doing. In fact, we are in Salt Lake tomorrow. We're meeting with the Association of Counties. We have meetings set up with staffers of our congressional delegation. They're going to be here in Salt Lake on the 14th. There are numerous things that we're doing to protect our interests.
So it looks like at least we have a positive outlook of what's happening here. Then.
Yes, yes, I believe that we do, but this isn't going to come easy. I'm going to tell you it's very important that we work strong together and we stand up tall and strong.
Great. Well, once again, Commissioner McKee, thanks so much for coming in today, and we hope to see you again right here on the next edition of Local Point.